Little Victory Sports Cards here, and today I will be discussing my thoughts, good and bad, the pros and cons of COMC. Check out my cards. So what's good about me is that I'm not big enough on YouTube to be sponsored by anyone, so you know what I say, I will be unbiased and truthful. I started on YouTube to do PSA sub reveals and show how much I enjoy them, and I enjoy all the grading companies. And over time, my content naturally started exposing the grading companies' inconsistencies and problems they all really need to fix. So, my content is honestly what I believe and represent. And whatever I'm talking about is coming from, my genuine thoughts and experiences. And they're meant to hopefully help others along their journey in this sports card world. So I think I'm kind of a dying breed. I'm one of the few left that, personally sells their own stuff. I rarely consign, but over the years I've needed a place to sell my lower end stuff, and that has been COMC. So overall, I've been a fan of COMC. It stands for Check Out My Cards. You can find it on, COMC.com. And for those who don't know who they are a huge consignment trading card selling website. They store your cards, you set the price, and they give you store credit when your items sell. And you can use that credit to purchase other cards on the site or cash out with a fee. They are a Pacific Northwest out of Redmond, Washington company, so I'm definitely a fan of that because I am also Pacific Northwest. So it looks like I've been using them since 2015, and I've been using them consistently to sell some of my more lower end cards. I would say like the $2 to $50 range, and I've done pretty well. It looks like since 2015 I've made a total of $95,000 in sales, so that's pretty solid. Especially it's my secondary kind of outlet because eBay is my main platform I use to sell my cards, especially the higher end ones. It was all about volume. I just didn't have the time to list myself all these lower ends on eBay, and it's worked out great over the years, and I love using COMC. But I would say over the recent years I've noticed shifts they've made, price increases, turnaround time increases, and I'm kind of at the point where I ask myself, is it even worth submitting more cards with them, or just using them as, the flipping platform, since you can just buy a card on their site and then just seconds later with a click of a button set the price you want to sell it at, and it's active again, it's for sale again. So from my almost 10 years experience using them, I'm going to give you my pros and cons with the company, in my opinion. And hopefully it can help you decide whether you want to use them or continue to use them. All right, let's start with the cons. The first con I'm going to talk about, and I think it's the biggest con, is the price point. It's expensive now to submit a card with them. The lowest service they offer, which is the standard, is 50 cents per card. That pretty much eliminates any notion of sending in like $1 to $3 cards right now. But the worst part is that for the standard service, that 50 cents, it takes nearly 4 to 5 months for them to actually process and list the card. That's 4 to 5 months in today's sports card climate. Do you know how much can change in that time span? Prices could change dramatically. Player performance changes, sports seasons change, or you can't take advantage out of the initial price spike of selling newly released cards. For example, let's take a look at my last order submitted with them. I think it was around 130 cards, and it looks like they received it on October 13th, 2022, and they finished it looks like on March 7th, 2023. That's almost 5 months, right? That's usually in the past they would kind of trickle in earlier, but no, they pretty much did all of them a week or two right before that deadline. So it took a long time. And when I first started with them, it used to be only 20 cents for each card, and it took them only about 3 weeks to get the cards up. You know, I know the boom happened, but we're at the point where it's not happening anymore. There's no boom. So I say kind of lower your prices to about 30 cents and take like 6 weeks to process. I think that's fair to your users. Okay, so the next con, let's get started. So the next con is damaged cards. So when you actually buy the cards on their site and you actually want to receive them back in hand, you get them shipped to you, it's honestly a complete roll of the dice condition-wise. I mean, kind of like eBay, when you buy raw cards on eBay. They do a pretty nice job with their scans, you know, photos of the cards, but we all know that general scans are only good for pretty much showing corner and edge wear. You can't really see surface problems, surface indents, surface scratches, and that's the problem. I do receive lots of, you know, mint to gem mint cards on there, but I also receive lots of cards that have big surface indents, lots of surface scratches. So I want to show you some examples of cards like that I actually bought on COMC. So the first is this really good looking black refractor out of 2004 Topps Chrome. They're numbered out of 500. The front is great. I would just say one surface line. It looked like it was going to be like a mint 9, but then I flipped it over, and let's see if I can get it. There. Look at all those lines right there by the O. If you see them all. So I've noticed that with COMC. Whoever's listing these cards let surface indents and scratches like that pass all the time without a designation. So you just got to be on the lookout, because you know that is not going to grade very well at all. So it's ungradable. Let's look at a few more. I think this Cam Thomas had some surface indents. Look at that one. Whoa, you see that one? That's huge. Yeah, that's not a good thing. This Justin Jefferson. Look at that. That's crazy. I know that's you know, a factory indent imperfection, but they gotta disclose that. How do you not see that? That's so obvious. I bought this undisclosed, and in the scan straight on, you weren't able to see that. And okay, so this one was my fault, but it needs to be disclosed too. I mean, look at this printing defect. That's insane on this silver T. Higgins Prism rookie. I think I was just in a hurry, and it was listed pretty cheaply on COMC. I was like, oh, I'll grab this. But I didn't notice. It's look at that. A double imprint. That's crazy. So that definitely hurts the value there. And then this cool Julius Erving. I think it's supposed to be out of a 10 short print. Only 10 made, which is very cool. I love the color match. But then when I got it, look at that. Look at all of those surface scratches. That's that way all through the card, the front. So, and I just wasn't able to see it straight on. Look at that. It's a gorgeous looking card. It looks centered up. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. And really, it's a vicious cycle, because so when I receive them, what am I going to do with them? I'm not going to sell them on eBay like that. So usually I just resubmit back to COMC, and the cycle starts over again. Now they do give condition notes, but a lot of the time, you know, surface scratches and indents get overlooked and pass through, like I said, without any sort of damaged condition designation. So just be on the lookout and understand that you can't expect even a near mint to mint card, and it's really a roll of the dice. So you take the good with the bad. Next con, and this one I completely understand on their end, but it still sucks, is that, you know, say you want to get the cards back that you submitted with them, your inventory, you just want them back. You do not get them back for free. You have to pay 25 cents per card just to get it back. And that, that can really add up. And I understand it's, the shipping cost and the time spent for someone to look up and pull each one out of their warehouse. So I get it. It just sucks knowing that you can't just kind of have your cards back without paying an arm and a leg. So, I can't completely knock them for that, but I hate the thought of having to pay like $1,000 if I wanted to, say, stop using them and get my 4,000 cards inventory back. That's $1,000. That's a lot of money. So that's another one of my little cons. The next con is kind of the amount of fees, and there's some sneaky fees. So on top of the 50 cents flat fee initial cost per card, there are all other sorts of fees. There is a monthly storage fee based on the number of cards you sell with them. I feel like I pay around $32 a month for around 3,200 cards in my inventory. So that's like a 1% you're paying each month. And then there's also the cash out fees. This is where they get you, and I understand they gotta get their money. They're doing the work. But when you make sales and you just want cash, you want to cash out, they are gonna take 10% out of that. So if you have $100 in store credit, they would give you $90 to your PayPal or checking account, whatever you designate. And that usually takes around 3 days. So another fee is if you want to create a sale on your items, which you pretty much need to do if you want to stay competitive and liquidate quickly and easily. So it's $1 flat for a maximum of 11 days sale duration, which is great. The $1, that's fine, it's flat. But during the sale, they also take an additional 5% from the sale of each card. And really, that's it's not hidden. They explain it, but you don't really think about it. And that can really add up, unfortunately. So there was one more thing that kind of made me angry with COMC. So at first, I thought it was an excellent idea, an option. So you know how COMC has auctions on eBay? Well, you can win those auctions, and as long as your COMC account is linked to eBay, you can use your COMC credit on their site to pay for those items you won. Right, it sounds great in theory, right? Well, I went to pay on their site under auctions 1, and I noticed they charge you kind of a sneaky fee of around 10 to 12% of the one price extra. You can see that right here. I'll show you. The example was I bought a Jokic auto. I think I bought it on eBay for $170. And now look, if I want to pay for it on the site using my store credit, it's up to about $190. It's an extra $20. I think that's an added 12%. So that makes a difference for sure. I was not happy to see that. Okay, but so now you've heard some of my cons. Let's go over some of the good stuff about COMC, the pros. The first pro is that they are reliable and trustworthy, and that's huge for me. They haven't done anything really shady in the past that I've heard of, no real scandals, so they seem to just put their head down and just work, get the job done, and I like that about them. Their next pro, and this is probably the best one, is that their selection is massive. It is so great for set builders, and you pay just one shipping cost, which is really nice because all the cards from all the thousands of sellers on there are stored at the COMC facility. They have them. It's almost like essentially trading cards. And, I rarely cash out my earnings from sales, mainly because I don't want to take that 10% hit. So instead, I usually just take my profits and kind of rebuy on the site. So essentially, I'm trading cards. So really, it's kind of like a flipper's dream. You can buy a card, and then in seconds you own it, and then you can reset the price to whatever you want to sell it for. I'm going to give you a tip that people do, including myself. So say it's football season, right? And say you're watching all the games on Sunday, you're watching Red Zone, you're tracking the box scores, and you notice a player performing very well, like a rookie going off, or a quarterback gets injured and then their backup comes in and wins the game and has a chance to shine. So what I do is I quickly hop onto COMC, I hurry and purchase cards of that player instantly for cheap before the masses do, and you now own the cards and you can set the price accordingly for higher. An example of this was that last season when the Jets backup quarterback, who just lit it up for maybe 1 or 2 games after Zach Wilson got hurt. What was that guy's name? Oh yeah, it was Mike White. His cards shot up right away, and there was this window there in time, especially on COMC, where you could make good money off Mike White cards. But we all know the result. Of course, in most cases, like in Mike White's, the window is short-lived. They end up not panning out. So flip fast, my friends, in that case. I'm going to go ahead and tell you a story. It's one I'm proud of myself and not so proud of myself. And it relates to kind of when athletes pass away and their card prices, spike right after the news breaks. So, and it is involving Kobe Bryant's death, which is tragic and it's awful. One of my best friends, he is the biggest Kobe Bryant fan. He grew up in SoCal. He texted me right away after the death, and he was so sad. And I was there for him. I felt terrible. It was awful. But then my mind, my sports card mind went to, oh man, I got to get his autographs. I don't think I owned any at the time. And then my investment mind went to, I probably should hurry on to hop onto COMC, buy up his autographs, and sell them later. So I jumped onto COMC and I looked at all of them. They were still pretty cheap. They were like $150 each. And then something went over me and I felt sick. And I realized I was feeling guilty, and I realized I should not be doing this. I don't want to make money off of this. And in the end, what's more important than money is your own dignity and your view of yourself. So, and really important to live up to the values you would want your kids or your parents, to be proud of. So it's just a little thing where I didn't buy any Kobe autos. So my advice is, don't try to profit off of the death of athletes. Let's move on to the next pro of COMC. So the next pro is good deals. You're going to get good deals on there. People are trying to liquidate, especially the ones that are running 75% off sales. I think the max you can do is a 90% off sale. Usually people on there are selling cards they don't necessarily care about. But one man's trash is another man's treasure. So what I do is click on and browse and go through the top sellers page. Usually the sellers on the top of the list are the ones with the best deals, the best sales, hottest sellers. I seem to buy a lot from Paper Cards, Jimmer Time, Double_Happiness, Anakin Leo, The Brain One, sellers like that. You can also search sellers with the highest percentage off sales going on. And if you're worried about buying raw and the condition of the card you receive them in, go ahead and buy graded cards on there. There's a lot of graded cards on there. I buy lots of PSA Gem 10s for great deals. Finally, the last pro I have for you guys is that it is such a user-friendly website. It's beyond easy to buy and resell if you start off by just buying on their site. If you are submitting cards to sell, it does take long for them to process your card, like I said. But they make shipping your cards to them easy. You pretty much just count up your cards, box up your cards, go ahead and keep your cards in just penny sleeves. They don't want cards in top loaders or any other kind of holders. I think they even charge you extra if you do that. So, and then you just print out your batch form and then ship them off to Washington. Searching through cards on their site is made easy. You just make sure to get the spelling correct when searching in their search bar. So I think overall I'll still keep using COMC, but I probably won't submit any more cards with them until their turnaround time is quicker and they offer a cheaper service option. 50 cents per card, it's just a little much, especially when I want to send in the $2 cards. But I'll continue to buy and flip on there. So now I have to figure out pretty much another way to sell my kind of lower end stuff. So maybe I'll go back to setting up tables at local card shows, or hopefully I'll get to open up an actual brick and mortar card shop. That would be great to sell that kind of stuff there. But if you guys were wondering what was in this box, each week I get an order back from COMC of cards I bought, because I'm a raw to grade type guy, so I like to get the cards and see if they're gradable from COMC, the ones I've bought. So each week I usually get a shipment back. Be prepared. They really add a lot of packaging and invoicing material, and they're all kind of individually wrapped. Look at all this. So it's going to take forever for me to open them in front of the camera, so I will do that real quick. So here they are, and quickly I'll kind of go over what I bought. You'll see what I like. And this is a Donovan Mitchell. I think it's a number 75, the Spider rookie. Here's that Jokic auto I was talking about earlier. I like it because it's, has a jersey. I'm hoping it's game used. I'll have to look that up. And I'm excited to get these out of the packaging to see if any of them are gradable. He had a good end of the year, the Denny. This color match is awesome, and it's the second-year prism of Jason Tatum. So I'm a fan of that. Nolan Arenado, he's one of my baseball guys I collect. I think this is numbered at 25. Austin Reeves, I'm a LeBron fan, so I'm a Laker fan then. I want him to do well, and I'm a fan of Austin Reeves. He's high IQ, plays well with LeBron, is fearless. I'm excited about his career. Some Calais Campbells, he'll be a surefire Hall of Famer. More Austin Reeves. This Jason Tatum. The USA basketball prisms always seem to sell well. Kyrie Irving, I like the look of these optic lighted ups. Here's some gold prism. Should be numbered out of 10. Allen Robinson. Like, for example, I think I only spent 16 bucks on this. I don't know, it seemed worth it. And the Denny's probably were only like 10, 12 bucks. This Johnny Wang, I don't think he's panned out at all, but, someone's got to be a fan of him out there, and it's numbered out of 10. It's a gold prism auto rookie. I think it's like 15 bucks. Some more Donovan Mitchell lighted up. Austin Reeves, more Calais, more Austin Reeves. Tatum, more Tatum, and then some graded cards. The Roger Federer, man, these were, during the boom, they were crazy high. Now you can pick these up for like 15 bucks. Same, I think I spent, 12 bucks on them, 12, 15 bucks, I don't know. And I think the Jordan was like 20 bucks, so it's the gold 1992 top. So you kind of see what I like. Then what I do is see if these are gradable and grade them down the road, and the slabs I can just throw up on eBay whenever I want. All right, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you found it informative. I really appreciate all the support and views and comments. I truly love this hobby, and I love talking to you guys about it, helping in any way I can. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.